For my food and culture video, I will be doing a buttered and jammed toast, which we liked to call Opa toast growing up because my Oma and Opa would make this for me and my siblings when we were growing up. So I chose this food because it is in memory of my Oma and my Opa, and they are since passed. And this was a breakfast that they would always make us whenever they would come to visit when we were younger. So the complete history of my culture, so I'm very German, and my Oma and Opa really introduced us to German breakfast typically when we were younger, and this is one of the first foods that I ever remember my Opa making for me and my siblings was this specific toast. My Oma and Opa, which stands for Grandma and Grandpa in German, were German immigrants, and a typical German breakfast in their culture consists of bread, rolls, butter, jams, cheese, and thinly sliced meat. Since we were kids, having thinly sliced meat for breakfast wasn't exactly something that sounded appetizing to us, so we settled for buttered and jammed toast. Since my Oma and Opa immigrated, they took a lot of their culture with them, specifically for breakfast. So for the adults, they would typically make my mom the buttered bread, mostly not toast, with the thinly sliced meat. But for the kids, it would always be toast, butter, and jam. Some nutrition facts for this is I use the Village Hearth cottage bread, and one slice of that is 90 calories. And then I used regular salted butter from the Great Value brand from Walmart, and I use half a tablespoon, not a full tablespoon, which is 50 calories. And I use 1 tablespoon of Smucker's seedless blackberry jam, and that is 50 calories. So the total calories for this is 190. So macronutrients, the protein is 4.1 grams, the carbs is 29 grams, and the fat is 6.2 grams. The 2 micronutrients that were the highest in this was B1 or thiamine, which was 0.2 milligrams, and vitamin A, which is 106.5 micrograms. I would not necessarily describe this as a healthy option the way that I prepare it. An option to make it healthier would be to use whole grain bread or homemade jam and jelly or homemade butter. That way you can control how much salt and preservatives is in everything. Because this is what I have in my apartment, I do not have whole grain bread, homemade jam, or healthier butter. And for my interview, my brother will be sending a video of all the questions that I am asking him since he is 2 years older than me, so we grew up thinking and eating about the same thing.
What is your first memory of Opa's toast? I believe I was 8 or 9. We moved into a new house and Opa visited. And that was one of the few food items he would eat on a regular basis and make for us. It was that and some salami sandwiches, but you get special bread for that from Germany. Number 2, do you still eat Opa's toast in your adult life? I've made it once or twice. Not a big breakfast guy, but if I were to make breakfast, I should probably make Opa toast because it's always good. Number 3, when I visited Germany, did you eat something similar? Yes. In Germany, breakfast was a lot of bread, jams, always butter, and then some type of meat. I didn't make it quite the same way, but yes, there was jam and bread for breakfast every morning. Number 4, if I have made this in my adult life, did I alter it? No, I've always made it the same way. One side jelly, one side butter, put them together, cut it in half, and then cut it into thirds. Same way Opa always did. And then number 5, do you remember my mom making this? I don't think my mom has ever made it for us. I think she always waited until Opa came up. But always a good memory with Opa.
All right, to make this, we will first toast your bread. And then grab your butter, which is not all that softened, but it's not the point. Make sure your butter is softened for this. It makes it a lot easier. All right, and then you grab your jelly or your jam, whatever you prefer, and spread that all over. And this is totally a personal thing, how much jelly you want to use. And then you cut it in half, fold it over, cut it in half again, and you have the perfect toast.